I wish we stayed the same. I got way too many thoughts in my brain, but I got memories that run through my veins. I'm not one to blame, but I could point out every way that you changed. Some things stay up while others go right down the drain. And lately we've been going down in flames. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm my therapist is saying that I should. I don't believe her, but I really wish I could. Instead, I guess I'll stay misunderstood. Oh, 'cause I'm stuck now, just trying to figure a way out. I've tried but can't seem to slow down, and I don't know if I want to. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm can't seem to slow down, and I don't know if I want to. Frozen over like I am. It's colder, colder when I'm older, older than I am. And I know you know that I have lost composure, but I'll hold you close.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to NECC of our Week 3 regular season action for spring. We've got some Rainbow Six Siege collegiate action coming straight to your screens at home. My name, Llama77, joined by the handsome as ever Goose. Goose, how you doing, and what can we expect from today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really good. I think going into this matchup, the best of three, especially always watching Lackawanna it is a fantastic watch. I've been casting them ever since my very first semester, just over a year ago, a year and a half ago now. So, I mean, just Lackawanna is a team that you always really love to watch. It's just a really fun Siege team.
Lackawanna so far has succeeded this season in picking up some wins. They're overall 2-0, but they'll be facing sort of a question mark today, as Wright State has yet to play a game. Both their first 2 weeks have actually been rescheduled for a little bit later, so we don't really have any results on them sort of yet. But Lackawanna, they've been dominant. They come out week number 1, they take down Michigan, and they played it on Fortress in map number 2. And, you know, Goose, that might be a little bit of a forewarning to what we've got going today.
Yeah, I love Fortress, and I haven't had the opportunity to cast it in a collegiate setting, and I'm really excited because it's a map that hasn't really been in the map pool for very long. Matter of fact, if you're new to Siege, or if you're just coming back, it was just reworked over, I think, maybe 2 months ago. So this is a fresh map. There's not a lot to really work off of for these collegiate teams, so it's really going to test what they can come up with on their own completely.
It'll be exciting to see all the brand new strategies. That's where we'll start. We have Nighthaven Labs as a guarantee for our second map. And then if necessary, our decider will be a border if we need all 3 maps here today. So a good selection, I'd say, and a lot of new stuff that we'll get to see for some of these teams. But also, as you mentioned, Lackawanna is a fun team to watch. Wright State is going to have to give them their all if they really want to win today.
Yeah, then we go on to Labs, which, again, it's more your run-of-the-mill, and then we end on border if we need so. So overall, this is a map pool that all 3 maps play essentially completely different. I think, you know, starting with Fortress, very defender-sided, very new. Nighthaven Labs, it is more defender-sided than others, but does tend to be 50-50. Then border, I mean, that's just completely up in the air.
And that's where it gets fun, right? If we get to that map number 3, who knows what's going to happen? And, you know, you go back to our week 1, we were going to the wee hours of the night, going all the way past midnight in terms of going all the way in full-length games. So for some of these players as well, got to prepare for everything. And obviously for Lackawanna, they would love to pick up a win and make themselves 3-0. But no more time to talk about it. Let's hop on into map number 1. We're headed to Fortress.
Now, because this is Lackawanna's map pick, Wright State is going to be picking into the defense. Very good choice by them. Again, if you haven't had the chance to watch Fortress or play it in one of your ranked matches, this is a very defender-sided map thus far. Obviously, that is, you know, a factor because it's also new, so a lot of attacking teams haven't had enough time to really get to know the metas, the rotations around before you hit the site. But the bans overall so far, the only thing that really surprises me is the Capitao, which kind of gives me the idea that Wright State wants to deny Lackawanna the utility to kind of displace a lot of their positions. So we could see a lot of shield play. We could see a lot of extensions from Wright State, which on this map so far is kind of common.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
It's interesting too. I mean, like you said, that's kind of the only standout thing we get to see. The Black Mirror's taken off, the zombie barriers, especially with a new map. Denying any sort of creative angles is always a very important goal, so nothing too surprising here, but hopping on into round number 1, it's going to be interesting to see what Wright State starts on their defensive side. For Lackawanna, they kind of have house money. I mean, we said it. It's kind of tough to already develop the strategies on this attacking side because they aren't there. So we are watching in live time as these teams generate new opportunities to break through.
Yeah, and you can already see that Lackawanna is going for a very heavy extension over in the pool games area over by bunks. They even have head holes on the meeting wall. So again, trying to cover and hold as much space as possible, which honestly, that's a really good idea. It's not too common necessarily specifically on this bomb site, especially having such a heavy extension. But with the amount of shield play, having both a Blackbeard and a Blitz on board, it is honestly somewhat of a nice counter to kind of spread yourself out and force this Lackawanna attack, really address a lot of points around the map. Already been denied the wall, but EMP charges in the pocket of Xena, not close enough, so rather going to be trying to go for something small over by New Town.
We're going to get direct access here to at least that B-bomb site, and they've got that diffuser up top. Nobody dead quite yet, and you know, talking about standout stars going to their last matchup on Fortress when they played Michigan in week number 1. it was Slams that led the charge. 12 and 4, a 3 KD. That is something, if they can repeat that here, Wright State would be in a lot of trouble.
This is really good out of Lackawanna. Understanding there's a heavy extension over by meeting, so they're just going to go to the complete opposite side of the map where there is no defender position. Hopefully they can time this secondary EMP charge, and the dough can be right to get that double wall open. That's a wall that you essentially need. It's required if you want to try to successfully attack this bomb site. And Spartan just seeing the head of Disconnected.
It's about to get hot.
Getting some information, that's the most important. Still 90 seconds left to go. Lackawanna trying to find their mark. They have really pulled apart Wright State all throughout this round and forced them to rotate around. Seeing the shield from Disconnect, who is, well, true to their name, disconnected from really the rest of their team. They get isolated from these two different ways. Sama finds the extra damage on themselves, but a headshot traded away. It is just Bloodbath Century. Lackawanna take down 4. And don't lose a single member themselves. The cell of Nitro will find one, but now they know where you are.
The other bomb going down a 1v4 and a very quick swing from Slams. Very simple, but also direct. I really loved how they understood that because there was such a heavy extension away from the bomb site, that they could just hit it really quick, and that theoretically Wright wouldn't be able to really defend it, and they wouldn't be in the positions to stop it in time. And that's exactly what happened there. I mean, again, also, I really love the play to have the blitz over by the courtyard area so they could hit it from multiple different directions, not only to take away a lot of the attention from those defenders, but also just make sure you attack that bomb site at multiple different points. Overall, a very strong round from Lackawanna. On the attack, keep in mind, if they can keep that up going into that second half, it's going to be scary.
And that last round especially, too, you talk about the way they kind of assaulted all those different rooms, all those different areas. They did act at the exact same time. They didn't have a disconnect in terms of their timing. So because they timed it all perfectly, 4 kills just fell right down into their pockets. So the Falcons, a really good start here in this first round. The question is, will they be able to proceed that? Now, Wright State, knowing that, will they be able to find something that really suits their marker in terms of this bomb site?
Yeah, and I think the thing here for Wright State is to kind of identify where this push from Lackawanna is coming from. I mean, there wasn't really one initial problem. The reason they couldn't have a foot in that round was because they never played directly into Lackawanna, and Lackawanna was able to constantly just hit them from behind. So it's kind of a situation where if you're the defense, you just kind of want to meet the attack where they're at, constantly pushing them back. And that's where you're going to really see Lackawanna struggle.
Gotta find that early intel, though. And that's one of the things that was really nice. Lackawanna, you talk about continually moving their position in that round number 1. Was able to disguise where they were coming from. And already with some head holes broken with those slight door pixel peaks and a Twitch camera not quite fitting in from Xenia. Try and go down low here and break over some windows. It's already a minute gone here, and Lackawanna once again just rotating around.
Ooh, I really love this push from Disconnect. The shield even too, a flashbang to try to push him out. But he's a ward, and that's not going to work. They're trying to apply as much pressure. They need to clear him out. They cannot get that wall and go for that plant. And if this player is not cleared out, there's the Flores drone, and bam, perfectly executed.
Pushes them out for just a second. Now 2 kind of cooped up inside that site together. Just waiting for the bees to try and do their damage. Flashbang comes in and once again forces Lazy out. Tholomai trying to get some rotary, and Lazy will find the first blood of the round. Although Disconnect was knocked down to their knees. Now res is available if Wright State can get to it. Lazy will be fully finished off. And now Lackawanna in an even better spot with control of these head holes.
CJ's in a really good spot here. He's going to be able to get that refrag. Keep it at a 3v3. That's also going to hold off this attack just for now. But Godless with a kill on the CJ. That refrag's so big. Now just a 2v3. Plenty of time for this attack to work with also.
3v2, and they've got full information. A double kill coming from Moss. And now all of a sudden, Fox has to do it all. Let's have the scope, but the flashbang will send them down below the bunk beds. Trying to fight their line of sight here, and realistically could just get this diffuser down, and that's what they will do, putting Fox now on a timer. 40 seconds up and active, trying to play against that head peek, and the headshot will go. A triple kill from Moss, and the Falcons are up by 2.
Yeah, 2 unanswered rounds there, and again, we're seeing exactly why Laka wanted to come to this map. And a lot of times when you have such a defender-sided map and you have a team that picks into it, you have to have a very strong attack because you're knowing that's where you're going to start off. It doesn't matter how good you're on the defense. If you go down 5-1, 6-0, doesn't really matter. But Lackawanna, they are bringing some of the best attacks, some of the most consistent attacks. And that's the thing. Fortress is a really big map, one of the biggest maps, only being rivaled by a map like Lair, and that's why you need consistency. You can have a fantastic opening round. You can have a 5v3 with a minute left, or 2 minutes left, rather, but if you can't work around the entire map itself, open the walls. There are so many reinforced walls. That's a problem that a lot of attacking teams have, and you're not able to carry that consistently to the end of the round. It doesn't really matter, but that's something that Lackawanna really had. From the start all the way to the end, they are consistently having their foot on that gas pedal, not giving this defense a break whatsoever.
And I like that factor that not only are they finding really good angles for 1v1s, but they're grouping back together so quickly that they're not giving Right State that extra moment, that extra time to regroup themselves, just forcing them into ISO positions. Round number 3 is a chance to turn it all around. They've got the Fenrir this time to help with some of that vision control from disconnect. They've also got Wamai and Cade. They've got a lot of tools here to try and stop some of those early rotations in. The one problem is, again, they're losing some of these outer doors, and the shield. They can't really do anything about this Blackbeard yet.
Yeah, they do have 1 ban left, but I mean, you still got that blitz on the board, and it's going to be really difficult here, but a really aggressive play from Disconnect. The 1v1 versus the Blackbeard, but there's only so much you can do. Even if he gets that kill, there's someone right behind him, setting their sights onto yet another one. Lazy now down. Fox, he just has to get ahead of dodge. There's no way that's a safe position. It's like I spoke it into existence. Just a minute into the round, it's a 5v3 now for Lackawanna.
And Slams on a double kill. Was somewhat quiet for those first 2 rounds, went 1-1. Has now found themselves in a great spot here in this round, and especially with Fenrir and the Wamai out of the pockets. I mean, so much roaming potential lost, and the duel is going to be lost as the Nitro Cell hits Slams from behind. The duel over the banister, and it's a double kill from Manziel. All of a sudden, we're back into a 3v3.
Yeah, Fox on the floor. It's only CJ and Dodo who can work around. Eventually, they're going to be finishing them off. Actually, it doesn't look like they're going to go for the finish. Eventually, they will, and they're just trying to get this plant down. They're being cautious. They don't want anybody to go onto them. With the Twitch, he's going to start to get that bomb down as Godless looks to protect them.
There it is. Diffuser planted. Right State once again put on a timer here. They're going to try and look for this wrap play from Manziel, who's already having a great round, but their position is known. Bees will cut them off. Nice shot there to take down Sama. And all of a sudden, Manziel's on a triple. Dodo finds the headshot. And it's all down to Moss, a man who is yet to die, and still delivering headshot blows. A 1v1. Health bar still favoring them. But the question is on timing here. Where do you try and engage from? You've got the pistol, sure. But Manziel is the one that really is on a timer that has to get that takedown of the diffuser. With 10 seconds to go, you've got to push this pistol. Close range shot connects, and Moss gets them all.
A really nice played 1v2 there by the Grim, using his bees perfectly to constantly have info on those last 2 players. Also a really good job at singling out each of those 1v1s, isolating those last 2 defenders. Almost perfectly played down to a T. And now our 3rd ban, obviously, going to ban one of the 2 shields. It's just a question of which one. Blackbeard, obviously. But the good thing, though, is they ban the Cade, choosing not to ban the Warden, which is a direct counter to the Blitz. Sure, you still have him on the board, but if you use that Warden correctly, or if you use something else to counter, a Thorn is a fantastic option. Two-Brow, you can also slow him down. It's just about finding where these attackers are. I think a lot of the problems that have stemmed up, while there have been a lot, has all resulted essentially from Right State not having enough information, not having a really good understanding of where this attack is trying to push from. And that's why it's been able to go so fast, because there's nothing that's been halting Lackawanna.
And I think it's a combination. It's pretty
Bomb
important that you
located
point
by
that
attackers.
out. It's stopping the speed that allows you to get the information, but you also need extra information to help stop all of that speed that Lackawanna is bringing. So hand in hand, in that last round, I mean, to be honest,
seconds to go.
looked a lot closer than it was. Had CJ not gone crazy and gotten that
5 seconds
multi-kill,
left.
could have been talking about possibly even another flawless round for Lackawanna. But it got down there, they won the 1v1, and now all that matters is they're up 3-0, a guaranteed tie at the half. They've got so much house money to play with.
Yeah, I'm also looking at Xenia on that sentence. A lot that he can do there to create an opportunity for that plant to go down. But I'm also looking at Disconnect, going on for a little bit of a roam on the first floor. If he can time this correctly, apply just enough pressure to take away some of the attention of Lackawanna, then that could be really big. But again, he just has to play it correctly.
Also been doing good. I mean, waiting out some of the utility and also using their body as a good resource so far. Yet to die. 6-0, an infinite KD, as they say, as the Raiders try and find some way to shut them down. Again, through Dodo, maybe try and get that slowness that they want in that round, in the mid-round especially. Those head peaks are starting to burn up, and they're going to use one of their thermite charges.
Yeah, just getting that wall open so quickly. Also, using that smoke to give a little bit of phantom pressure. Saying to the defense that maybe we'll just run through this smoke, and because of how fast this attack has been moving, that's very possible. That guy was there.
Finally, he'll shoot it and reveal that position. 90 seconds left to go here. Nobody dead. And once again, it seems like a slow round, but it's anything but it. Disconnect has to look multiple different ways. And checking now, a 2v1, and Disconnect gets the headshot on the first. Loses half their health bar in the process. Lazy is down, Dodo injured. As they start to flood in, it's a double headshot from Disconnect as they pay for their life with a pistol shot. Sama's in position, and with Manziel dead and Lazy on the ground, it's another good setup from Lackawanna.
Watch just Fox in the 1v3. Again, a minute for them to play with. I don't know how those two defenders went down. Trying to find the headshot. Very similar position last time. He's going to be able to get at least one of his teammates up, though.
Lazy will die. Dodo is up. Double kill comes in here as a confirmation. Lackawanna knows where both of them are. Realistically, they can't escape out of the room. Flash goes out, which will delay them even further. The problem is they do need a little bit more space to actually get that diffuser down, probably aiming for that B. But it is going to be Xenia who finds another triple kill for them. And Right State just walks into the gunfire. A quadra kill. And the Birds are yet to lose a round.
Also, one little micro play that I noticed is the rotate on that single wall by the soda vending machine, usually where they had the shield. They immediately reinforced that up, and you could see that blocked the blitz from actually getting into sight really quickly, so then they had to funnel through that doorway, which in all honesty, if you just timed a C4 or a swing
Attackers
from
need to
Right
locate
State,
and
that was very
defuse as
winnable.
many bombs as they
So I
can.
actually really like that instead of the previous round, the first time they played that bomb site, leaving that rotate still open, reinforcing it, kind of taking away an avenue in the sight of Lackawanna. Obviously, you know, they still ended up losing the round, but it is really good to see that they're learning, that they're noticing a lot of these consistencies throughout Lackawanna and trying to prevent them. And if they can turn that into 1 or 2 rounds, I mean, that's fantastic.
Lackawanna already has 4, though, so ideally for Right State, if you can, like you said, learn from
10
those
seconds to
couple
go.
last rounds and at least get these last 2. A 4-2 is much more manageable than something like a 5-1 or a 6-0 going into half. So Lackawanna has just been burying them, though, at the 90-second marker. Their ability to, again, speed up the round after playing so slow through the start and giving away very little information is just exciting to watch.
This is what I want to see from Right State. I want to see aggressive plays here from Disconnect. Obviously, it doesn't amount to anything. I don't even know how Xenia took any damage there. Might have actually been shot from the run out from Disconnect. You can even see he's like, wow, what the hell just happened? Sure, it's only half the damage, but I mean, it's a little bit of pressure. It's more than we've seen from them so far. They're going to also almost get a drone. They just miss it. But again, I just want to see these. I want to see the confident plays, these aggressive plays where you're meeting this attack at the doorstep, pushing them back, not letting them just run over you.
Those slight early fights and the ability to slow them down hasn't been there, but this round could be much different. The early health loss here on Zania will be a delay for Lackawanna to come on in. 2 minutes to go. Good damage on Sama, and a disconnect sent. We'll try and fight this 2v1, and the shielder does go down, but the res is there. Slams gets another 2 for nothing for Lackawanna.
They also get Godless revived, but he's so low on health. Still C4 in the pocket of Fox, so just one C4, maybe a couple of shots onto his foot, and he's dead. I mean, that's a very big play. CJ's trying to make a play. He's trying to make his way up. He can time this correctly, but no, just misses the shot, slams, shuts him down, and he gets that 5v2, now making a 4v2.
Dodo, Fox both get their man here, and Wright State makes a tough scenario into a little bit more manageable. Dodo still gotta do a lot, and Zania finds another. Spartan finds the headshot, and the Falcons soar once again.
I mean, it is just the ability. I think you spoke about it just a couple of rounds ago, that even when they're trying to find these 1v1s, Lackawanna, they're always trying to regroup back up. They're always trying to have numbers, and that's what makes it really difficult. I talked about in that early half of the round, in the first like 30 seconds, about how Wright State needed to play aggressive, get into the face of Lackawanna. But it's really difficult that when you even do that, you're essentially swinging to 1v3s, 1v4s. There's almost always a body doubled up, so even if you do get that kill, you're almost immediately going to be traded. That's fantastic from Lackawanna. That's an issue that I saw a lot during the 6 Invitational, which is the championship for Rainbow Six Siege, the highest tier play. A lot of pro league teams on the attack played singled, and it allowed the defense to just run away with man leads. But Lackawanna, very confident and very mature, may I say.
I mean, they've got confidence. You talked about confidence many of a times throughout this series, and they're up 5-0 on the attacking side. I don't think you could wish for a better start here on Fortress. It is their map pick, we will stress that, so Wright State will get their map pick as a guarantee, but as it looks right now with the confidence play, with the shooting, I mean, slams, Zania, Moss, all at 6 kills apiece, and they are right now having their way with the map. We'll have to see what Wright State can do in this last round of defense.
Yeah, and they're definitely not letting up the gas with this utility. Saw them bring the Grim, but now they're doubling it up. Adding the Ying now. I like this little Denari in the L hallway. Oh my god, I almost got the head there. This theoretically should slow down Lackawanna. Hopefully that ass charge doesn't destroy it. That's the problem with those Denari traps. It's just one nade. It's all gone. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. Just one ass charge and that entire Denari in that hallway is just gone. That is rough.
Mobility of the Twitch drone gets it back safely over the window. And again, Spartan has had their way with a lot of these thermite charges, forcing the use of Wright State's utility to counter it. For Manziel, kind of lower down here. Again, they've got the highest kill count of anybody on the Raiders side with 4, but most of those came just from one single round. And with Moss, they're already inside. They've found these different angles, and that means, again, Wright State being pushed, being pulled all across this map.
Yeah, Moss also has the cross, so if they try to go back to the site. But no, he just looks the wrong way at the wrong time. And that's an opportunity that Disconnect is going to take advantage of. That's the opening pick for Wright State. Eventually, though, Spartan, on the breach that he opens, going to trade it back. But, I mean, you've wasted so much time. 2 minutes off the board. Buying a lot of opportunity for the defense and the rest of his team.
70 seconds to go here, and Wright State is the best looking round so far. Long look, Manziel taken down to half. Even one of those bullets will put you into a bad scenario. Regardless, will await the usage. Now under 60 as they will just assault this side. Lazy pushed out of their position, and everybody on Wright State is injured and limping into the late portion of this round. And a long look there finds it with Godless. They'll go back up +1.
Yeah. Dodo doesn't know it, but Slams is so low on health. CJ and Lazy, they'll go huge for 2. It's just Godless alone in the bomb site. Essentially a 1v2 while the other teammate Dodo tries to retreat back, but Godless finds CJ.
boy, the health bars just abysmal, and there goes Godless. A headshot will do them in, and a double kill from Lazy is what does it. Slams with just a single sliver of HP left to go. Lazy and Dodo are going to try and take him down, but Slams has got the body shot. Dodo's got the trade, and Wright State walks away with their first round win.
Well, it took 6 rounds. They finally stopped the bleeding. They got there first. But now, Lackawanna, as they move on to their defensive half, Wright State, they have to do exactly what their opponents did, now on their own attacking half. And again, this is their very first play day in this entire semester, their very first time playing Fortress. They could be a fantastic Fortress attacking team, but it's going to be definitely a very tall hill to climb. Probably going to be seeing both double breach denial and hard breach, more than likely. I'm assuming an ace coming out from Lackawanna, and then a bandit or a Cade and a Monty, rather. Interesting with the Monty band choosing to leave up the Blackbeard and the Blitz.
I don't know, just me personally, I like dealing with those half shields rather than the full shield, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I mean, Thermite, an easy one to take off the board. The Cade, as you predicted, another good one to take off here, especially in a very roamable map. The Wright State, I mean, what's in front of them right now? Again, you said it, they've got to do exactly what Lackawanna did, but better. If they want to win this map, they've got to go even better than what the Falcons did in that first half.
Yeah, and I also I completely just ignored the fact that they left both the Mira and the Azami up, which if you're not familiar with Siege or Fortress, those are probably the 2 most powerful defending operators in this entire map. It just makes it so much harder to move around. And then on top of that, you have a castle.
10 seconds
It's
left
not even the
before insertion.
gunfights I'm worried about. It's just simply getting close
5 seconds
to the bomb site and then moving around it. I mean, the Azami Kiba barriers, they can
Attackers'
create so many
objective
different
is to
lines of
locate
sight.
a
The
bomb
Mira
and
can
defuse it.
cut off. I mean, the entirety of meeting now, unless you have the Ash push up really far to get rid of that mirror window, it's just be really difficult to take space here.
Yeah, I think the getting in is going to be the problem, and especially, I mean, even once you get in, there's a Legion, the most annoying one to deal with once you actually do get in. So, Wright State has to be very, very cautious and has to systematically find ways to get inside rather than going too quick and getting caught off, because Lackawanna, they win this round, and all of a sudden, they would put themselves on map point just 1 round away from putting themselves up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, you can see that Wright State taking their time to get as much information before they hit the bombs. I really do like this Stamos pick. That's something that we didn't really see a whole lot from the Wright State, per se. Ooh, really aggressive swing there from Xena. I think this is exactly... It's kind of a power operator, even for the attack, in a sense, where you just get a lot of information very quickly, and then you can immediately react off of it.
And it also takes down some of those Legion stabby stabs to not deal with even later. Wright State did burn a little bit of time, and as you mentioned, it's well worth it. They've got the space, they've got disconnect here into the game room. They're going to rotate back around.
Oh.
Slams is dead on the trade, and Lazy will be the one to take them down. Didn't really lose any HP for the cause.
Yeah, that's a really big play there. And yep. And it gets the wall. Exactly, it does. Wow, a really good round here to start off from Wright State. Slams a very ill-advised swing that's getting an opportunity. The only thing, as of now, holding off this attack, the main point from stopping them from hitting the site, it's just Xenia.
One player to try and hold them out here. I mean, it is 70 seconds. It's not an infinite amount of time here for the Raiders. They will have to escalate eventually. Regardless, and the rest of the crew trying to play off of the barriers and mirrors that they've built up, that they've tried to held on the defense. Enzo here on the ace, and especially Fox trying to use their breaching tools to get in here later, as Disconnect still outside, going to use their drone to gather some information, and Moss is dead. That's going to make the push a heck of a lot easier here, and Lackawanna trying to regroup.
Yeah, but they can't get that wall open, so they're just going to have to funnel through doorways here. Godless with one, and now he's holding down this hallway. This could be a very dangerous and difficult situation here for Wright State.
Got to push at the guns. Double kill from Lazy will help them out. It's just 2 players left to go as the Falcons try and soar above. Try and fight in through the broken window, or broken breakable rather, off the barrier. Now 15 seconds. Lazy gets dropped. There's another takedown from Mansell as Godless gets the double kill trade. The Mira is all they have left. Diffuser is down, and unfortunately for them, they just don't have the timing, or do they? It's a triple kill, and it's into a 1v1. Do you have it? You've got the takedown. The finish off of Lazy. With this 1v1, just swing it. Why don't you? A quadra kill to win the round.
What a 1v4 clutch, essentially, from Godless. A 4K to end things off. A nasty shot. He long arms that shotgun kill onto the down player. Again, isolating every 1v1 perfectly. Wow, that was poorly played by Right State. At the same time, that was a poorly played round from Lackawanna. Yeah. Being way too individually aggressive. The zombie swinging outside being punished. You saw the Legion then, or maybe it was a mute, run across the courtyard doorway knowing that there was a guy holding it. There's a lot of these wacky plays that Lackawanna were punished for. It's not like Right State was letting them get away with it. But the entire round, the entire map, essentially to start off your defensive half just off the back of a hero play, that's something that Lackawanna does not want to let happen again. But that's a little bit of confidence. Even if you did lose that round there for Right State, you found your foot in the door.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an interesting look at mentality, because, like, you did find your foot in the door. You had all these good plays, but also, like, you lost the round. Like, you were that close. You did everything right. It felt like up until the end, and then you lose the round. Now, Lackawanna is just one round away from taking the map, so they've got to find that again. I like how you mentioned the Deimos pick. They're going to be running that. They're going to be running the Ram. A lot of these breaching tools, but again, they have to play to take down the castle walls and all these other tools, including the Azami that Lackawanna have.
There's a little bit of luck. Being down 6-1, it could be a lot worse. I have seen a lot worse. And again, Godless just trying, dude, this guy's just trying to swing everything. You've got to be really careful. There's a sense where on the defense, you do need to be aggressive, but there's definitely a sense of over-aggression. But Slams roaming upstairs. It doesn't look like that drone game's going to be deep enough on that second extension floor, so the Goyo's going to go on drone, the position that he more than well wants to play for as long as possible.
When you play it, the more it helps. Moss just steps out and takes down Lazy, and boy, if you were trying to go top down, especially for Right State, that is going to hurt your chances without those Ram drones to rip up some of the floorboards and make your line of sight a lot easier. Now for Disconnect, you talk about, yes, get in, destroy the barrier, try and gain all that information, but all of a sudden you don't have a ton of backup.
You can see that they know that there's someone up here. They're not fully aware of where he is. This is the problem, is you don't need direct pressure. That phantom pressure, just scaring the bones, making these attackers shake, is something that not a lot of people really want. Moss is eventually going to be tracked, but Slams from the bathtub's gonna take Disconnect's head off. Another kill completely unanswered. Sure, they got a track on where this Aruni is, but it doesn't matter. You got Slams just running around the map completely unpunished.
Absolute RKO from the bathtub. And now Right State is down to just 3. Fox will take a headshot, though. Moss is down, and that makes things a semblance a bit easier. And a right side look will connect from Manzel. A 2-for-1 trade, though, as Godless steps in and takes a headshot back. So Right State, although these trades are somewhat not going their way, they're still only down 1 player. The problem is, I mean, they've only really got this Ash left to try and get the breach in.
Yeah, they also didn't set up any vertical whatsoever. You still have Slams on the second floor, so he could go for a flank. You don't have diffuser, so you just have to try and hit the bomb site. Isolate these 2 players on the bomb site itself before Slams can get any use out of a flank.
But it was trying to launch in something that'll push them out, but at this point, Lackawanna's just got their claws hooked in this site. They're ready to go through the doorway. Good shots from Godless. It's a double kill. They are dropped down to their legs. A finish from Fox. Pulls out the pistol, but they are out of time. They are out of space, and they are out of a life. The Falcons are victorious in their map pick.
I would say a little bit of a gamble, but with last week's performance, technically 2-0 with a forfeit loss, or a forfeit win rather. That is now the third win for Lackawanna on Fortress, 7-2. They had to do it better. They had to one-up themselves and get a 7-1 to start off this best of 3. But again, that is their map pick. We go into Nighthaven Labs, which is a completely different map in how it's played and how big it is. So there is still life if you are a Wright State fan. They're not out of the run just yet.
Yeah, I think they are going to have to switch mindsets going into map number 2 and have a good, bad, short-term memory, whatever you want to call it. Forget that first map did happen, and for themselves, be able to find some of that confidence. We saw that towards the end of the map where they themselves were able to get things going. So I'm excited to see map number 2, but before we get there, we are going to head to a short break. So don't go too far. More NECC Rainbow Six after this.
Well, I can. I never told you that I'm slightly broken, that I might lose focus when I am. I know you know that life gets colder, colder when you're frozen over like I am.
I stand back and I watch you explore in perfect visions like I've been here before. Falling faster, I try to ignore. I see you, I see you. I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end. This is not what I came here to find. Memories show that I'm out of time. See a shadow, don't know if it's mine, but I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you, Got wandering eyes that I seem to follow. Can only stay still for some time. I've never aligned with the city's pulse, so that makes it easier to leave behind. I just wanna get to know brighter lights in Tokyo. Somehow hear it whispering that could be the one you're missing. I just wanna get to know.
Welcome back, everybody. Still here at the NECC for some Rainbow Six collegiate action, as Wright State just could not get there going. On map number 1, Lackawanna takes the victory on their map pick 7-1. Welcome back, everybody. Llama and Goose up here on the desk. And Goose, tell me what you saw from that map number 1.
I saw just one specific thing from defense to attack for Lackawanna, making like a hare. It was absolute speed from them. And going into Wright State's map pick of Labs, they want to channel that goldfish energy, act like map 1 didn't happen, channel a little bit of that short-term memory, and just take things from the get-go. I think, again, just trying to start from scratch, not only for a momentum in a mental thing, but also on how they apply their strategy to map 2 of Labs. It is a completely different map, both in its size and also how it plays. So again, you have to have a completely different play style, and it's a good thing.
I think it will be too. I think it'll give them a fresh reset, a chance to go into this map number 2 with a completely fresh mindset. And again, you kind of mentioned it going into that first map, but this is the first series that Wright State has actually played. And, you know, playing from online ranked, actually going into a competitive match with your full 5 team is a vastly different experience. So you could just talk it as an experience differential so far from the Falcons.
Yeah, but the good thing, though, if you're Lackawanna, because it's Wright State's map pick, you get to choose the defense, which historically a 4-2 half is relatively what we see from this defense. It's not like, you know, a fortress defender sided wise, even though, you know, if you just watch map 1, it didn't look very defender sided. But again, I think the playstyle that we saw from Wright State on the attack, even though they weren't able to get around, was really good. I think arguably their attacking half was much better than their defensive half. And I think that it can apply that to map 2, obviously in small different bits. You can't exactly translate Fortress to Night Haven Labs. But if you can apply a little bit of things already bringing Disconnected on the Deimos, again, I really love that. I love the information they got off of it, the information, and then how they immediately react. I think that's a really important part, is how they used that information. That I honestly think they can get a decent start here on Labs.
It's good. I think for Wright State, pretty easy in terms of the bans. The Azami is one of the best ones in terms of creating just awkward angles in especially tight spaces. But Goose, I want to ask you what you kind of make of this Maverick ban.
I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Obviously, you still have Thatcher on the board. Not a lot of teams really like to use them, and then Mav just has a lot more versatility with it, especially on that IT wall. If you just open the bottom half, you can completely just cut off that entire angle. So it's just kind of an operator that I feel like Lackawanna just didn't want to deal with, and they know is just kind of a power-up in a sense on this map.
Yeah, some of those spicy angles you can create with the blowtorch, always tough to deal with, so... Wright State, we'll see what they want to do here. Again, starting on their attacking side, because Lackawanna picks defense. They've got a lot of hard breach charges, and they've got their setup actually reading into the waterway. So this first minute that they've used in this round has been really good, and they're going to send Monty straight on into the firefight with a watch over top from Fox.
Dodo with the opening kill on Xenia. That's really good. That's the Cade off the board. Godless, though. Very quick answer. Here's Disconnect trying to go for a little bit of a flank up water stairs to support Lazy. He can time this correctly, but no, there's a barricade. So as soon as he hits this, he's gonna know, but he just doesn't hear it. That's another kill for Disconnect. Slams, though, is gonna shut down Fox. With Lazy staring him down, he has no choice but just go back to the site.
Kind of an awkward trade-off there. Like you said, the timing maybe not in their favor. Is just too focused on the stairs up top. And now we're left into a 3v3 with a ton of time still left on the board. Again, Mira activated here for Slams. They've already got 1 kill in this round, just like Godless. The question is, how much more can they do, especially with Amonte still alive going this late in the round? There's going to be so much space that Right State is going to be able to take just from that shield bearer specifically.
DJ just waiting for the C4 to prop its way up through the window, but Moss, his patience is really good here. Choosing not to waste it. You still have Slams, though, inside of Connector, so he's going to be able to cut off a little bit of space, but overall, Lackawanna giving a lot of respect to this attack so far, not trying to overextend or give them any easy opportunities.
Now that they've given them some space, it's what Right State does with it. The Raiders, they're in this 3v3, a nice little nitro self-charge. Lazy's going to get the 1-for-1. Manziel is the one traded out. So at this point, you've still got a 2v2, but you've got Monty alive, who does give you a lot of space, but right now, with Disconnect getting that kill, it gives you such a powerful 2-on-1. Moss needs to take down Disconnect first if they want any chance in this round, but the problem is timing it with Lazy's shield drop. They've got full control of that B-bomb site and should be able to get that diffuser down.
Oh my gosh, but he gets the down on the Lazy! 4 seconds! He just has to hide. And that's exactly what he does. Lackawanna, a 1v2 clutch, just playing the time. That 6th defender. And it just slips through the hand of Right State. They were so close.
I guess a addition to my point. Or not. I guess he won't get the diffuser down. Some beautiful swings and a beautiful shot there to put them back on top. And there were 2 or 3 of these rounds in map number 1 where we're like, okay, Right State, you did everything right. You got yourself in a good isolated position. And then it was just solo efforts towards the end from Lackawanna to get themselves into a round winning position. So again, although map number 1 could have been much closer in score, it wasn't because of those late round duels. And we see that once again here.
And again, I mean, we saw almost the exact same thing, a 1v1 to end off the very last defensive round on map 1 for Right State. But that time, it just going in the favor of Lackawanna. In all honesty, though, Moss playing it perfectly, understanding that he didn't need to over-aggress, that either one, he could let the time run out, or eventually, if that plant was going down, that there was no one defending him and he couldn't get an easy kill. I mean, fantastic from Lackawanna.
Now they're up 1-0. The one big change they're going to make is that Wamai, so maybe a little bit more roaming potential for them in this round. They're once again going to bring the Mira to isolate some of those Black Mirror angles, but also they've got the Warden and the Castle this time, so a very defense-heavy setup.
Yeah, also, I really like this extension from Lackawanna on the top floor. The Mira to open up and look over that Raptors position. 4 players, it looks like, on this top floor, trying their best to deny it from Right State, and very so. I mean, that's a position on the map that you need to cut off. Nothing denying that IT wall from getting open, so CJ, you can open up that angle with relative ease.
Kind of a dual pincer coming through water here. Fox is watching over Lazy once again, in case anybody goes super, super aggressive. With 1 minute off the board, not as much control, I think, as Right State would like in terms of their forcing effort, especially with something like an Ace Buck and Ash combination. They're going to stay with Amonte here to try and lead the charge. They've got a nade to throw themselves on in. A hard reach charge coming right behind it.
Yeah, these mute jammers doing a lot of the work. That Ace charge is just stolen from the hand. Moss is going to take CJ's head off, so that's all the hard breach gone. You still have one in the pocket of Disconnect, but these Wamais are just doing so much damage to the utility of Right State. And they're not even able to claw back a pick, so again, still trying to hit this top floor extension in a 4v5. Even with that, they still haven't gotten any progress in clearing it out.
A lot of this round is on Dodo and Disconnect, on whether or not Dodo can get inside, find some close range kills, and especially for Disconnect, that one hard breach charge you mentioned, the ability to use that precisely. Lazy already taken down to 2/3. That Monty is a critical spearhead of their overall composition, and with a shot from behind, Dodo dies. And with that, the trade goes through. Right State, not necessarily too happy about that one. So what? You get the Wamai. They've already used all their utility. Now you've got to fight into castle walls, into Amira with 40 seconds to go.
Disconnect, though, that's a really big pick. You might find another one on his slams. Only one C4, and that's in the pocket of slams. They're going for this plan, it looks like, inside of control, but they're not aware. Really nice shot there from Disconnect, but Spartan, he's retaken the vertical upstairs.
That wraparound from behind is just so deadly. The swing from Slams finds one, and Spartans got your back. The diffuser is down. Lazy, the Monty. How much do you have? And is going to be trapped in the corner, pushed away into the offices, and a defuse is started. They're going to delay, and Lazy taken down below the half-health marker. And realistically, at this point, you've got to get some clutch headshots. Still 30 seconds to play with. Pulling out the pistol, not enough. Drop the cell, no good. Still need to get the defuse here, and the wraparound will come in. It's just a bad game of ring around the rosy. A headshot finally puts him in his grave. And a double kill from Spartan puts the Falcons up 2.
I mean, it is astonishing. That is 2 rounds in a row where Right State have a man advantage by 1. But Lackawanna able to retake space and clutch up back-to-back rounds. I mean, overall, really astonishing, the star power. Again, I mean, I talked about in the pre-show. I mean, this collegiate team is just so fun to watch because, like, every player in this roster can go huge. They can have really big hero play. They can have clutches round in and round out. You never know what you're getting from this team, and that's something that Right State, there is no strat. There is no solution to that. And the ability for Lackawanna to read timing, that retake upstairs for Spawn to play the vertical, then the drop back, the 2v1, I mean, played perfectly. And it is really kind of a thing where it's not even where Right State is playing bad. It's just Lackawanna playing so good that there's almost nothing that Right State can do.
I mean, it feels like Lackawanna has full control. And again, it is the defensive side, which, as we both mentioned, is more expected to win. Right State has been so close so many times with the tools to get it done. And it's those solo efforts to swing towards the end of the rounds. And now for the Raiders. They're looking down the barrel of an 0-2 setup. Once again, Lackawanna's not going to change much. Everything's been working for them, working off this Mira, building up the castle walls, and forcing Right State to play slow. That being said, Disconnect is going to try and earn them some information early.
Yeah, it's been these, like, util heavy extensions. I mean, there's a shield, and then you have a Denari play inside of luggage. I mean, that's not even the bomb site. It's kind of a situation where, sure, not only is the utility a problem, but you can't even get close to the bomb site. If you're Right State, I mean, fantastic use of this utility, though. Again, Spartan taking a couple of damage, using these scans from the Deimos perfectly. But nothing aside from pressure, no kill resulting from that scan. They are able to take some space, but you have to find something. You have to find a little bit of a gap, perhaps, and Fox trying his best to find that.
Sees the barrier. Godless is going to earn the first blood of the round, and it's a headshot on Dodo. Once again, Buck is so good at engaging, especially in those late round scenarios, to give you access to close range duels. But as of right now, Spartan tucked in the corner. Their position has to be known at this point for Fox. Just trying to roam around a little bit. Gain, again, a little bit of information to work with, but still no access towards that bottom floor. There's a nice shot from Fox. Wins the 1v1 duel on Spartan.
Moss just has to play this correctly, but Fox takes his head off, swinging up just way too late. That's a man advantage. Even if it's just one for Right State, but you have to be careful. Fox very low on health. Just a couple of bullets from Godless could be it.
Slams and Godless combined 4 kills between the two of them. Right State once again has the man advantage. But is it enough to take this round, especially with these crossfire angles that they've gotten? It's those Deimos targeters that have been giving them so much work from these top-down plays from the floorboards. Godless finds the headshot. And the Deimos is dead. A double kill already there. How about 3? A triple kill makes it a 2v2.
I mean, what have I been saying? And now they double up. Boss gets the kill, but the immediate trade from Godless. He's going to need an ace in the round to win it. 23 seconds, a perfect lineup. Lazy. He does have fires and smoke, so he could cushion his way if he does. Oh, that's exactly where he is, and he's just going to run past.
Got the diffuser. That's the good news. Lazy does need to get that down if they want a chance in this round. Godless, what does the timing look like here? Is it an ace? Is it all 5 here? And does catch the timing. The damage is good on Lazy. Survives with 1 bullet. And through the smoke, Godless becomes a god himself.
I mean, what a better way to back up my point than not only a 2v4 clutch, but a 2v4 ace clutch there from the Denari. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's 3 rounds in a row where Right State not only had plenty of map control with a minute to work with, but they also had a man advantage. All 3 rounds letting it slip. It's Lackawanna up 3-0. Again, like you said, this is the defense. This is how it should go. And to be fair, Right State, they have their foot in these rounds. They have abilities to win, but you need more than just opportunity. You need to actually get something on the board. And Lackawanna, they're not letting Right State even get close to that.
Attackers need to locate and
I think one of the
defuse
tough
any
things
bombs
too
they
is
can.
you look at specifically the last 2 rounds, but I feel like Right State has just not given themselves enough time to play for either. The reason that clutch happens is because Right State is scrambling into the site with only 20 seconds left to go and then has to get that diffuser down. Lackawanna has been so good at restricting that. That may change with the Mira off the board, but I mean, without the Monty, we haven't seen Right State really been able to get that spearhead without that shield bearer at the front line.
Yeah, I mean, and also because of
10
that,
seconds to
Lackawanna, they complete their perfect 3-site rotation. They get to go back upstairs to the bomb site. Also, noticeably, they decided not to go to
Attackers are
Kitchen,
moving
a
out to
bomb site
locate
that
a bomb and
collegiate
defuse it.
teams absolutely love. And again, I think that's, you know, sure, it might be only 1 round, it might only be 1 little micro point, but the fact that Right State wasn't taken to that Kitchen bomb site, perhaps a bomb site they're more comfortable attacking than that mid-floor luggage bomb site. I mean, it really does say a lot. But again, I mean, any of these rounds where you have Right State just shut down one of these hot players, then it could be a very win for the attack. You only need 2. They're only up 3. It still could be a 3-3 half.
Oh. Good timing. Really, really good timing. 2.5 minutes. Still definitely could be a tied up at half. I want to see what Right State can do, though, in terms of finding those early picks, finding some early space, especially to just give them something to work with. You do wonder for the Falcons. Again, they're already up in the series. They're already up 1-0, and they've already got information on where this Blitz wants to go.
Yeah, Blitz trying to take a fast one, but just not exactly finding the right opportunity. That head hole scaring Lazy away. Rather, it's going to be Fox, who's continuously been the opportunity creator, but it doesn't matter. Spartan taking his head off quickly. Lazy getting a lot of map control inside of Raptors, but a flank from Godless. Spartan with another one, and out of nowhere, it's a 2v5, and Lackawanna at ahead of the hill.
Just an incredible pincer there. The timing, insurmountable. And at least they've got Doki to call some cell phones here and at least give them a little bit of information. But the one good news is you've got 2 players very low. For Right State, if you can find those kills, if you can make them clean, that's a possible 3v2. But they just have not been able to execute onto the sites either. So the questions are definitely there on whether or not they'll be able to work together as a full unit.
Ooh, a nice little bait there to find the mute. 50 seconds, they're going to need a lot more than just an individual kill. Both players completely disconnected. It looks like Dodo just be clearing over by Connector, being shut down by Spartan. Now it's just CJ over by C-Box. He's going to find one, but probably all he's going to be finding. 30 seconds, though. He could potentially work a clutch here, though, especially with Godless and Xenia so low on health.
Spartan's the biggest threat. Obviously, Lackawanna has bodies here. TJ Menzel does have that diffuser, which is the good news, but the bad news is still 3 men watching on the other side, waiting for this peak, just on a perfect crossfire here. Even if you get one, surely they've got your number for the next, and Spartan just loses, or wins their first duel, rather, and puts another win on the board for Lackawanna.
A 2-4-1/2 is still possible.
Yeah.
Even with, I mean, the first 3 rounds, there was a chance. That round, no chance whatsoever. Right State taking their timeout. I like that. A lot of people will be looking at this and saying, you're now just taking your timeout. But with the context of how those first 3 rounds went, that was the first round where Wright State really just completely lost control. There was no opportunity for them to win that round, and that's something that they understand. And they want to stop the bleeding. They want to take this timeout to get at least that bare minimum 2 rounds on the attack. And they go into their defense. I mean, this is still a very winnable position for them to try and start a comeback, but they have to start in these next 2 rounds.
Yeah, if you don't get, I mean, best case scenario, both those rounds, but even one of those rounds, at some point, it does become a lot tougher to not only win this map, but come back and win this series. For Wright State, I think specifically, like you said, you look at that last round, it was kind of just out of their control. They couldn't get anything going. We could realistically be looking at a 3-1 had Wright State won those first couple rounds, so I'm interested to see what they're going to bring here, what the look's going to be, and especially from Dodo and Menzel, who have been kind of stepping back up in these later portions of the round. If those two specifically can work together to get an execute that gets them into a good spot.
And again, I mean, I think the tools also that Wright State have been bringing these rounds aren't the wrong one. They've been bringing the exact right operators, the right utility to try and clear the space. I even think doubling up with the Grim and the Capitao with Disconnect is fantastic. I think that's really good to try and clear out these positions without having to force gunfights. It could make it a lot easier, but it's not the early to mid round. It's not clearing these roamers and these extensions that Lackawanna is setting up.
Objective is to defuse a bomb.
It comes to when they hit the bomb site, try to get that bomb down, and then in turn play the post play. Because they did get the bomb down once, but it was a 2v1 with the Monty. And I mean, that situation, there's not a whole lot you can really do.
You've got to avoid that situation at all costs. Another 3 minutes on the board here. Wright State has got just everything to play for here. And again, this is their first series they've actually played over the course of this spring semester. They've got a couple more reschedules that they'll have to try and improve their record. But here in Division 4, it is ruthless. As teams looking to improve themselves, Lackawanna specifically, they have yet to lose a series here in this spring semester.
Yeah, looking to continue that 3-0, continue that flawless record. They've always been a very strong collegiate team, but I mean, this, for what I've seen from today, I mean, this is some of the best Siege I've seen play from this college. I mean, it is fantastic. Disconnect, leaving that position, no defender there. Is he going to hop in through this window to try to play aggressive? Choosing the ladder, literally going up those steps, the better opportunity, because as soon as he jumps in, Giles is going to hear him swing. That's an easy kill. Another instance where there's not a lot of information. They do have information on this Raptors position, but not a lot of heavy presence here from Lackawanna.
They're kind of just playing it a little bit slower, trusting not only their castle walls, but everything else. Doogie's going to ring once again. Phones are going off here, and a nice long-range shot takes Moss down to half. They'll escape, though, and no kill there. Does mean that Wright State gains space, but it's not enough. Xenia finds the headshot there into Disconnect. A really good start.
Lazy with a quick trade, but Spartan trying to make a really aggressive play. He does that, but he gets punished for it. Lazy eventually gets the kill. They get that map control, but they lose 2 players for it. Also losing that Capitao. That's going to be a lot of utility missed going into that execution phase of the round. But a 3v3, not a bad situation. They've been in worse.
Even scenario, 3v3. One thing is, the 2 players they've lost are their 2 kill leaders. In terms of clutch potential, are you going to be able to win those 1v1s? Godless, a lot of different angles to watch from as they try and assault from that upper floor. Now trying to work down the stairway, can't catch him on the crosser.
Yeah, missed opportunity. It could have been the opening for the round. 25 seconds, just continues to click down. They don't have any control, any information where these defenders are. And again, it's just slipping through their fingers.
Just gonna have to run in. They're just gonna have to hope and pray that something goes their way and a smoke cuts off the line of sight. A might be a little bit more realistic at this point, but they're under 10 seconds. It's under 5, and at this point, just try and run at them. Moss is gonna go hiding. The game of hide and seek goes the way of Lackawanna, and even though Lazy will find the triple kill, that's the round.
Yeah, again, while it was a different player, Lackawanna retaking the vert. And that, honestly, that's something that I didn't notice until just then. That you can't give up the vert, but at the same time, you had a player from the attack from Wright State playing inside of IT. They just weren't watching the right vertical. Because of that, you give Lackawanna yet another opportunity to kind of clutch. It was a 3v2.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, these man deficits for Lackawanna are no problem whatsoever. Through these first 5 rounds, 4 of them have been rounds where Wright State were in a position to try to get the bomb down in a man advantage. And somehow, some way, Lackawanna just clawing these rounds that some of them look near unwinnable. But just having the idea to retake space, the specific space they needed. I mean, that's all they need. They just need one little micro pixel, and the round's over for Wright State.
They've worked really well as, again, getting back as a team, finding those 2-on-1 angles, and especially those executes in the late round setups. And, you know, just pointing out as well, Spartan and Godless is a combination. 15 kills between the two of them over the course of just 5 rounds. Wright State is going to try it this time with the Ram. I like it. Last time, though, on map number 1, when they picked that Ram, it died early. So Lazy needs to survive. They've been the target of a lot of early skirmishes.
Yeah, I like the change of play for the last round here from Lackawanna. Bringing the castle and the Cade, close up those doors, make sure those hatches aren't easy to just immediately open up. So instead of playing these heavy extensions, forcing these gunfights to slow down Wright State, they're just simply using this utility to do all the work for them. Sure, you do have 2 players, but there's not really a heavy extension. They're 2 isolated roamers trying to play off of their individual bodies. Waste a little bit of time, and Godless disconnects. The head of disconnects. 10-2 in the round. I mean, he is near unstoppable. They still haven't cleared him out. He's just going to sit here. He's going to say to Wright State that I'm not moving unless you make me.
With the resources they've already invested, I don't know that they have the time to do so. Just encroaching on 90 seconds left to go. Lackawanna trying to get a perfect half here on the defensive side. Godless is on double-digit kills with only 2 deaths in this entire half as well. For Fox, they're in a decent position, but at this point, watching over the billiard balls will spray some blood on them as gets the kill onto Godless. That's a good takedown, but now they've got to go.
Yeah, a minute, you still don't have the hatch open. You don't have any vertical over on the bomb side, so you're just going to have to open these walls and go for a really awkward plant here. In all honesty, I mean, you're only able to get this single wall. Sure, you have Fox above. I mean, this is still just going to be a very difficult execute, even if you have 50 seconds to play with.
Try and ram down low. They're going to try and work together, at least as a pack. Right now, the crossfire angle from Moss straight on through could cut it all down. They're going to reinforce it. Everybody just cornering together the Valk. Nice little jump there. Gets the double kill off of the throw, and Fox gets a headshot back. But Right Stage is still no real space to play with and no health bars either.
Yeah, 20 seconds left on the clock. No information. Does Fox know about Spartan? Takes 1 swing.
Nope.
1 pump from the shotgun. And Dodo's not even able to get a shot off, and that's the perfect half. They tried on map 1. They were finally able to do it here on map 2.
You could say it was from a double kill from a C4, but realistically, that engage was doomed from the start. Just no utility to play with there. And Wright State, again, limiting themselves on time to try and execute onto the site, just could not get it done. So Lackawanna, not only are they one round away from taking this map, but also one round away from taking the series.
The good thing, though, I guess, if you wanted to have a flawless comeback with the right state, is you wanted to be on the favored side, and you are. You're on the
Yeah.
defense. But, I mean, with how we saw the attack of Lackawanna on map 1, still nothing that you want to just scoff at. You want to take this attack very seriously. And to be fair, the defense from Right State wasn't necessarily the worst. Again, there was a lot of plus sides. There was a lot of good things that came out of their defenses. But again, I just think it's the ability to team play, but more importantly, play around Right State. And that was on the defense. Now you're on the attack. Essentially, you know where the defense is for the entirety of the round, because you know where the bomb site is, or you should at least. Lackawanna can't find the bomb site, then yeah, they might actually let this flawless half go through. But again, it's kind of a thing where you just gotta take it every inch. You gotta take what's in front of you and what you're able to see and get.
And I think very rarely will you see a double shield ban, but I think it's well deserved here for how well Lackawanna has been playing, especially around those shield bears, especially around that Blackbeard on the entry. But Lackawanna takes away two really big control tools, the Azami and the Black Mirrors. Those two things just make this map tough to play around.
10 seconds remaining.
I also really love the 4 C4s from Right State. Yeah, I almost never see defensive teams 4 times double up
Attackers must locate and
on that
defuse the
explosive
bomb.
utility. I absolutely love this. Obviously, you have to use it correctly. I mean, I think this is really the perfect answer to the aggression, trying to take the spots really quickly. Also, a really good answer to the Monty.
Very true. You can take down the prediction of the shield on the other side can be good for the round. Right State needs to be perfect, though. If they want to find themselves, it's every inch. They've got to take it round by round. They've got to find their way back in, and they've got to control this defensive side and not allow Lackawanna to have those surges of bursts of speed where they just find a quick entry and then execute off of it almost immediately.
Lackawanna also bringing probably my favorite attacking operator now, the Thatcher, especially after the rework. No Bandit on the board, almost impossible to trick that Cade. No two-brow, or actually no, there is a two-brow. He's going to be all the way over inside of command. Maybe he can deny IT wall from being open. He's going to get a lot of pressure, but that Monty, Yash falling behind, there is no opportunity for him to deny that wall. And Lackawanna keeping their foot on that gas pedal, not giving Right State a moment to breathe.
Seeing just a couple footsies down below Lackawanna. They're on the other side of this wall, but the shotgun isn't going to connect immediately. And you've now got to watch multiple places. The hard breach is coming in. Right State is getting surrounded at this point with every wall being opened around them. They've got the health advantage, but if they're not careful, they will lose the player advantage very quick. As crossfire from under, Spartan finds a headshot on Fox.
Spartan with another one. That's disconnect off the board. Can he find a third? Almost finds Dodo, but he just tucks away in time. Right State just being strangled, but a flank from CJ. That could be what they need.
Zania gets the headshot. It is just falling apart here for the Raiders. They don't have the players. They don't have the health. A nice little C4 will at least get them some confidence back as they take down Spartan. Good long-range shots. Lazy is dead. And Lackawanna with shotguns in hand with a search party looking for Dodo. There's still 40 seconds left in the regular round timer, but now they will finally get that diffuser down. Unfortunately for Dodo, just doesn't have the best long-range weaponry. Doesn't have the greatest amount of health and will walk on into the shotgun as Slams actually takes them down with the rifle. It's all GG's. It's an epitome of flawlessness as Lackawanna takes the series.
14-1 to end off this best of 3. And Lackawanna, they're going to go into week 4 3-0. Obviously one of the favorites in this division. And again, I can go out and I can say that Right State, they played horrible. But that's not the story. That's not what happened. It is just Lackawanna playing near flawless Siege as a team.
I mean, from defense to offense, again, the way that they found all those isolated picks but grouped back together, their confidence on a lot of those early outbound rotations was just absolutely fun to watch. And like you said, I mean, not only going back this week, but also to their previous week's performances where they've dominated on these similar maps where Fortress has been their pick. And if you're another team now facing off against them, you might just have to permaban Fortress.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a map that you probably won't see Lackawanna go on for a very long time. But I mean, again, I mean, it is really good. I remember my first semester watching this team, now all the way here, still not only as good, probably better.
I mean, better and better throughout the course of the day today. I think for Wright State, a lot to build off of. I think there were good rounds that it could have been a much different score had some of those clutch scenarios gone their way. And, you know, for Wright State, I'm excited to see what they build off of because this is the first time we've seen them. This is the first series they played. They've got a couple more rescheduled matches where it's not like it's just a forfeit. They're going to play those, but they've got a lot to learn from this match specifically.
Yeah, and again, I think even when the rounds they lost, there was still a lot of good. There's still a lot they can take away from this matchup going into their previous game or their next game.
They've got a lot to build on, and here at the NECC, we have got even more streams for you guys to watch at home. So if you have not already, hit the follow button on here and our main channel. We've got Overwatch and League of Legends to round out our week. Next week, we'll have Counter-Strike on Wednesday, so it will be next month when you will see Goose and myself next for week the extra looks. So you guys can find yourself back on the main stream as well with even more action for that as well. But that's going to wrap things up for this week's action of Rainbow Six Siege. For Goose, for Llama, for Rennie and Time to Light in the background pressing buttons. It's been an awesome day of collegiate action. We'll see you next time, and don't go too far.
Lesson.